Hi, welcome to Pet Paws with Dr. B. I'm Dr. Brittney Barton. Today we're going to talk about range of motion exercises, or ROM. It's really important that any pet post-injury, and even some of the older guys, continue having good full range of motion of their joints. So what is range of motion? It's the normal movement of a normal joint. It can be passive range of motion, which means range of motion that you help the body move through, or active range of motion, which is the actual range of motion of your pet when he's out running. So we're going to talk more about the passive range of motion because this is very beneficial post-surgery or post-injury, and also for maintenance of dogs with chronic osteoarthritis issues. So let's start with a little Anatomy 101. So this is a dog model. Don't worry, it's not real bones. It's actually just a mold. But I wanted to give you an idea of kind of the structure of the joints. So most common areas where we need range of motion help are in the hips, the knee, the shoulder, and the elbow. So these are important to kind of visualize exactly how their angles are. So right here at the hip, we have the femur and the pelvis, coming all the way down to what we sometimes call the stifle. So this joint comes down to the tibia with the little fibula on the outside here. Up here on the shoulder, we have the scapula, which comes down to the humerus, goes down to our elbow where we have the radius and the ulna. So now let's look at those joints on a real dog. So Jojo here has volunteered so nicely to kind of help us understand a little bit more about basic anatomy. So what I've done is back here on his back leg, I've drawn a knot right here. So that's right there at that hip joint we just looked at. This is part of where the pelvis is. So we come down here to that knee, and so this is how a normal leg should move. There's flexion and extension back. Okay, so this is your hinge point and this is your hinge point. Coming up to the shoulder, we have the scapula, which sits right about here. We have the humeral head, or the point of the shoulder, which comes right down here. You can feel the little bony prominence right there, coming all the way down to the elbow, which has the big knob back here, and this will flex up and down, and will extend forward. So now let's lay Joe down and go through the full range of motion. So now we have Joseph laying down. So it's important when you're going to start doing range of motion exercises with your pet that you get them in a calm, relaxed state. This sometimes takes bribery, and that's okay. We do want them to start to understand that we're not here to hurt them, we are here to help. So what we want to do is begin by just some basic body massage. So if your pet has an injury, say in the back leg, don't immediately jump on it. They're already pretty scared. They're already afraid of what's going to happen, and it already hurts. So it's better to kind of just start with some basic soft stroking coupled with a few treats to help get them to relax a little bit. Now keep in mind, we're going to be doing passive range of motion. It is important that they relax into the motion and that you're not playing tug of war with their leg or with their arm. So you want to gradually bring them into the movement. A lot of dogs really like kind of massage up into this flank area, and a lot of times if you just start to do longer motions down the front of that leg, which this is a sartorius. So I've got a couple of muscles drawn out for you so you can get a good visual of exactly how these muscles are going to be moving. So if you want a hip extension, a lot of times if you just massage the leg above the knee and push back, they'll let you go with them. So you want to just hold them. If they pull the leg back, just let them. Just start with a little less pressure, a little less force. Now to get them to flex the knee forward or the hip forward, I'll push from behind this big muscle belly here and kind of lift the leg forward here. So what you want to try to avoid is any extra pressure on their site of injury. So if they have a bad hip, don't get over here and start pressing right on their hip. Or if they have a bad knee, don't grab the knee. If they're a dog that hates having their toenails trimmed, you may not want to go and grab the foot either. So I like to start with real kind of passive movements that get me in a position to move their leg as comfortably as possible. Always start with just a little bit of pressure. Apply your pressure slowly with gradually increased strength. It's important that they relax and that they accept it and that it's not painful to them. So range of motion is very important to help lengthen muscles, to help move the joints. The joints need regular movement to maintain their health. It's how they get the nutrients inside the synovial cells within that joint. So range of motion isn't just about moving the muscles, it's about really moving these joints as well. So you can just very slightly push right above the knee and guide the foot back into a nice long stretch. You can press up here by the heel and bring this leg all the way back up. If your dog's really enjoying it, you can even start to stretch forward a little bit and then gradually lift up, kind of like they would hike their leg. But everything needs to be nice and slow and fluid. Once again, bribe your dog if you have to. It's okay. We want them to enjoy it and we want them to be able to get the most benefit from it. So moving up to this front leg, we have the scapula drawn here. This is the triceps muscle group. So what we have right here is the point of the shoulder. So when you're moving, it's not just this joint that moves. This whole scapula has a little bit of mobility against that body wall. So some dogs really enjoy a nice, gradually deepening massage right here around the scapula, just to get that scapula moving a little bit. And I'll just kind of go in a circular motion to kind of get it moving around. Then you're going to come find your points again, the points that I showed you on the skeleton earlier. I put support right here and I hold down here in the middle portion of the leg. So you can flex and hold, and then you can very gradually, I'll put pressure right here at that elbow and just gradually push the leg forward. So once again, you want to get a good long stretch, you want to lengthen these muscles out, but most importantly, you want to get these joints moving in their full range of motion as much as possible. Good job, Joe. And that's a basic range of motion and how to do it. Thanks for joining us.